Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to another Lost in the Pond video, and it is 5 home appliances I only used after moving to the US after moving to America. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We've reacted to him a couple times recently, similar kind of videos, but this video was posted just after he posted another one that I reacted to, so I assume it's different things that he mentions, but we're going to jump into this nevertheless. Hopefully going to enjoy. If you want to see some more reactions to his channel or just other channels similar, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to do so. Also, if you want to see some more of my reactions, links are in the description to my Patreon. I've been posting a few times recently because I wasn't able to post for ages. I say ages. I wasn't able to post for like a week because just issues with certain things linked to the Patreon, but it's all back now, and yeah, I'm back posting there. And yeah, there's reactions that I've posted there recently, especially one that I posted today that I used to do the reactions on YouTube. It's like they don't like my reactions on it anymore, so I can't post them onto YouTube because of age restrictions specifically. But yeah, it's kind of sensitive topics. But yeah, if you want to see that, links are in the description, but if not, we'll jump right into this now.
Hello, this video is sponsored by Wondrium. I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to home appliances. Specifically, home appliances that I only encountered after moving to the United States of America.
See, now I'm interested because the world's a lot different now. I guess, obviously, when he was in the UK, it was different. Things that he had in his house and stuff were different. Maybe nowadays, it's going to be a lot more similar. I don't know what things I can think of, but we'll see.
And as I slowly continue this wild journey of moving into my first American house, it occurred to me that I already have some of these home appliances in this very house. And so come join me and apparently my cat as we go and look at 5 home appliances that I only encountered after moving to America. And if you'd like to follow my new journey of becoming an American, living in an American house with American people and an American cat, he's actually Russian, and you're not subscribed to my channel, do that now. Without further ado, let's go and take a look at some stuff. Oh, cat, get out of the way!
Dehumidifier.
You've heard me talk about ceiling fans. You've heard me talk.
Wait, do I have one of these? I think, but I don't use it. I don't know. No one's gonna care, but I do have. There, it's literally in the background there. I'll get it.
About air conditioning units, but you haven't heard me talk about one of these. No, it's not an Imperial droid, right? It is, in fact, a dehumidifier. It actually isn't. This is editing, Lawrence.
What is going on here? So he was here. I don't know what he said. This looks the same, but I don't know if air purifiers and dehumidifiers are the same, because there's also humidifiers, and I don't know what's better for you. I got this because I was always waking up with a really dry mouth. Me and my girlfriend always wake up with dry mouths, and I still do. And I tried getting that to see if it would help me. I also got the one that sprays out like air. Like you put water in it, and over like the night it will spray out like, I say sprays out air. Sprays out like, what is it? Steam, but it's not hot. I don't know what to say, but I heard they're not very good for you, and also I lost the lid for it, so I stopped using it. But yeah, I don't know if this is a thing, but just because of Amazon I bought this, but I don't think you would typically have this here.
You've heard me talk about ceiling fans, you've heard me talk about air conditioning units, but you haven't heard me talk about one of these. No, it's not an Imperial droid, right? It is, in fact, a dehumidifier. It actually isn't. This is editing, Lawrence. I've since discovered that what past Lawrence has in front of him there is an air purifier.
Oh, let's say, come on.
But the points that he's about to make about dehumidifiers are both salient and necessary. So for the next minute of your lives, you will pretend that the item in question is a dehumidifier. And we'll all go about our lives as if this never happened. Back to you, past Lawrence, and you might want to move the air purifier to the side so that we can see you. And it's so bloody big that you can't see me. And the reason that I haven't spoken much about dehumidifiers is that A, they're infernally dull, and 2, until recently, I didn't even know what they were. Because in Britain, for reasons that are similar as to why we don't have air conditioning units, dehumidifiers are quite rare. Now, of course, there'll be 1 or 2 British people watching going, I've got a dehumidifier. I know, my channel is not scientifically backed. But for the most part, in Britain, we don't use them. And I know they don't because I've done some really deep research on Quora.
To be fair, I only actually got one because of my issues that I was having. I didn't think to get one before, so mine was for a specific reason. other than that, I don't see why people would have them.
Whereas in a lot of American homes, you will find them. And of course, one of the chief reasons for that is that here in the Midwest and other parts of the United States of America, it can get ridiculously humid. But you know what? It can in Britain too. So why don't we use dehumidifiers? After all, if you allow humidity to accumulate in your house, it can lead to things like mildew. Well, the reason that people on Quora consistently gave is that the UK simply just doesn't get hot enough to justify it, which I suppose is fair enough, but we've been using one of these for a couple of years now, and I have to say the air quality in this house is fantastic since we've been using this.
Maybe I need to start using mine again. I've not used it for ages, but I don't really know why I stopped. But maybe it is actually a lot more effective than I realise, especially when I spend a lot of my time in this room specifically, because this is where I work, this is where I do reaction, this is where my job is. So maybe I should function it, because it's not very loud either. But maybe back when it's like summertime, I will start using it again, because I can't deal with the humidity and the heat. It's hard, so it will probably help.
It's not switched on. Have we been using this? We haven't. So the air quality in here is just good anyway. So once I switch this on, I'll have 10 times the
all of that, and it's not even true.
Oxygen that everybody else has. No, I know it doesn't work that way.
Oh.
And welcome to my kitchen.
See, we've actually got one of these as well, but we never use it. It's from my girlfriend's house. She's not used it once, and we don't even drink coffee. Neither of us drink coffee, so. And I've never had one at home. I didn't have one when I grew up. And whenever I've gone to people's houses, I never see them. Whenever I see them, I sort of think like it's quite not a wealthy thing to have, but I just always assumed it's like you got money. If you've got money to spend on getting a coffee machine, you're breaded, you know, because you just have a kettle here. That's just how it is. But if you got one of these, it makes your life easier. But also, it's just added spend on something that, again, you could just use it for a kettle. But yeah, I always just sort of related it to, I don't know, having a bit more money, maybe. That's sort of how I saw it.
Where I'm eagerly awaiting my 9th cup of caffeine of the day. And while you might think that's weird, I do live with a cat. But in order to facilitate that, I have here a coffee maker, which most Americans will be familiar with. And don't get me wrong, coffee makers do exist in Britain. It's just that they're nowhere near as commonly found as they are in American homes.
True.
There's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, just as was the case in my family, us Brits famously prefer tea, whereas us Americans prefer coffee. And a lot of the time when we do make coffee in our British houses, many of us prefer instant coffee, the preparation of which is similar in many ways to making tea.
See, in the US, do you get this coffee as well? Because I assume, because not many people have kettles in the US, right? So is it just common for people to either just get it from the shop, or will they just like boil their pan, like heat the water up in their pan and then just use it from that? Because I'm assuming you do have coffee granules as well, right? I mean, I'm sure about that, because it's the ones that we have here are made from like Nestle and stuff, and Nestle's, I think it's a US brand.
Minus the tea bag. So often, one of these isn't required, but a lot of Americans I speak to say that instant coffee is terrible. As somebody who never drank coffee when I lived in the UK, I can honestly go either way with it now. But ultimately, I do prefer having a machine that does what I tell it, because again, I'm elitist. Now, it does already have coffee in it, so I'm not going to brew any more. You'll just have to make do with this stock footage of coffee being brewed.
It makes your life easier, right?
I think you all know what it's like to see coffee being made, so I don't know why I did that.
Can't really go against it. Water dispenser.
You may remember in my home tour video that I briefly introduced you to this fridge/freezer. And I specifically pointed out that it's got this little touchscreen that dispenses ice. And the reason that I did that is because A, it was a really cool feature, and B, we don't really go for this kind of thing in the UK. Once again, our kitchens are quite a bit smaller. So that,
I mean, my fridge is literally built into my... So say you got my kitchen, you got my drawers, you got my cupboards. It's sort of like a cupboard. It's a fridge built into the cupboard, which I think is quite cool, because you don't really notice it's a fridge, but it's the same as the rest of my cupboards. It's the same color, same sort of style, but you just open it up and it's a fridge inside. But I know you can buy these here, and I feel like there was a time when I was really wanting to, because I thought it would be so cool to have this sort of concept, but there's so much money, and I'm not willing to waste money just to get an ice dispenser and whatever. But I swear there's some fridges that you can get like touch screens on, and you can like play games in them and stuff, which is crazy to think. But I mean, if people play games in them, fair enough.
That means there's not a lot of room to have fridges that are as tall as I am and as wide as I was about 9 years ago. And so because of that, our fridges don't really have room for bonus features like this. And when I talk about bonus features,
True for me.
I'm not just talking about ice cubes. The thing I really want to talk about is the cool water dispenser. That's right, instead of having to go through all of the rigmarole of filling your cup with ice, then walking over to the sink and then pouring water into that and then waiting for the ice cubes to cool the water down, you've got a cool water supply right here.
That's quite cool.
It's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable.
Although, I don't know, I'd feel weird getting water out of... Like, how would the water get to the fridge? Is it linked to the plumbing, or do you just have to fill the water up? I guess that's the case, actually. You just fill the water up. You fill like a massive jug up, and then it's just kept cool by the fridge or the freezer. I mean, I assume not the freezer, because then it would come out as ice. But yeah, actually, I guess that's how it is. You just pour a massive jug of water in it, and then you can just leave it. That would be so cool, actually. Because who doesn't like cool water, like a nice cold water? Not cool water, cold water. Instead of like lukewarm water, it's just not the same.
Although it takes about a minute to pour, which is a bit of a letdown, because you're standing here trying to fill the void and the awkward silence between words while it pours, and you talk to your audience. Still going. Still going. I actually hate this feature. One thing that my cat and I don't hate is birds, although for completely different reasons to each other. Can you remember in the old apartment when I befriended a family of mourning doves? Well, ahead of spring, I thought it'd be a great idea to learn more about birding in North America. And so this week, when I've had time in between packing boxes, I've been learning all about birding in the fantastic Wondrium series, the National Geographic Guide to Birding in North America. Did you know, this is unbelievable, right? There is a bird species that only exists in central Florida. Doesn't that blow your mind? It's called the Florida scrub jay and looks like this. And already from this...
How? How has it just not managed to just expand its territory? That's so strange how it... I mean, Florida's relatively big, right? So central Florida's still a pretty decent size of... Like size of land and stuff, but... I don't know. Strange how they've just managed to just conquer that area and that area alone.
This series I've learned a ton of other stuff, which is weird because those mourning doves assured me that there was nothing more to know. But thankfully a knowledgeable human and birding enthusiast by the name of James Curry has been teaching me otherwise, from bird distribution to variations in plumage. And honestly, this sort of thing happens to me every time I experience a Wondrium course, which is probably why I can't wait to sit down with the new series, Experiencing Shakespeare, if only to rekindle my old theatre days. You see, for me, Wondrium is where you find the answer to everything you've ever wondered about and some things you never imagined you'd wonder about. Their carefully curated collection of short and long-form videos, tutorials, how-tos, travelogues, documentaries, and more is academically comprehensive, thoroughly researched, relentlessly entertaining, and presented by engaging experts. In a nutshell, Wondrium is the place for minds that wander. And for my money, as we continue to embark on this new year, a Wondrium subscription is the perfect way to fulfill those resolutions about broadening your mind. And it just so happens that they're giving my viewers, you fine people, the fantastic offer of a free trial. So show your support for my channel by subscribing to Wondrium today. Visit wondrium.com/lostinthepond right now to begin your free trial. The link is in my description.
Links to this video that I'm reacting to are in the description, where you can find this. I mean, who doesn't love a free trial, you know? It's always just, I mean, it's just free. You can't really complain.
Below.
Top load. What the hell is that?
You join me here in my basement.
Oh, these. Wait. I'm so confused. Why is it on top? Wait, I'm really confused now. So this is just, the difference is it's on top. I don't know if I've seen these before. I probably have, but I'm really confused. It seems like the washing machine is just put on its head.
Or, more specifically, my laundry room. And behind me, we have this beautiful
Is it called a tumble dryer? Is that what it is?
model right here, which, you know, it might look like a futuristic toilet, but it does the opposite of a toilet and actually cleans your clothes. That wasn't an admission of any kind. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, we have washing machines in Britain, you know, but just in a British accent. And yes, of course we have washing machines in Britain, but this is not just any old washing machine. This, quite specifically, is a top load. And the only time that I ever heard the word top load in the UK was a laundrette, or as they say here in the Midwest, laundromat, or as they...
So I've never been to a laundrette, or a laundromat or whatever, but I assume the difference is you can put more in these.
say down in Texas, washateria. But it would be very rare to find one of these top loader machines, in other words, a machine in which you put the clothes in from the top, in UK houses, and there's a very good reason for that. And that reason is that in most British houses, we actually keep our washers and our dryers, or sometimes a hybrid of the two, in our kitchen.
And obviously, this is the same where I was with my parents as well. And same where I live now. You literally just have, the cabinet, what's it called? The surface is just covering it, so you can't even do that. So yeah, it's just built in. We had this, in my mum's, we had the sink, then we had the washing machine. There's a little surface area here, and then we kept the bin under the surface area. So the bin, surface area, sink, then obviously under the sink you have like the cupboard for like your sink stuff, like bleaches and all, whatever it is. Then you had the washing machine. Then the other side we had the oven and the cooker. Then a massive surface area where you like prepare the food. Then you had the cupboards and stuff. Really small kitchen, by the way. Our house was very strange. Like you could just walk through the whole house. One end, you walk in through the front door here, and you could walk all the way through to the back door, pretty much. Like it was just walk through the house. Like it's a row, one room, one room, one room. It's very strange. It's really small house as well, but I think that's a style for a lot of British homes, pretty much. That's how it is. Like any house on the street that I live right now, and in the area that I live, like obviously unless you've got money, right? It's just literally you just can walk straight through the homes. Whereas in the US or these homes, how the rooms are just spread out. That's not how all houses are here, but I'd say a good 50-60% of homes are built like that.
Under the kitchen counter. So you can't really drop clothes into it because they just land in spilt gravy. Whereas I've seen a few of these in American homes, and this one specifically becomes the first top loader that I've ever lived with. Not in the same way that you'd live with a wife or a pet, but it's here and it's nice. And the good thing about it is it's easy to use. I've never used one, so I don't really know how it works. Not a toilet.
Huge dryer.
And finally, next to it is this one. And despite its appearance, it's not an...
It looks like an oven. He's going to say that. It looks like an oven.
An oven, although that would be a quicker way to dry your clothes and shrink them. This is, in fact, a tumble dryer. Again, I'm not going to...
That's a tumble dryer. I didn't know tumble dryers look like this. It's the weirdest looking tumble dryer I've seen. I've not seen many. Didn't have one at home, and I've never had one. But I didn't think I thought they looked like washing machines, but they just done a different thing.
Stand here and claim that we don't have tumble dryers in the UK. Clearly that would be a lie. But as I said a moment ago, sometimes they are hybrids with the washing machine. So
I don't even have that.
Wash the clothes and dry them in the same unit. But even when we Brits do have standalone tumble dryers in our houses, they're usually pretty small. Got to be careful of the stovetop. I've just remembered it's not an oven. And again, the reason for that diminished size is that we have to fit these tumble dryers into a kitchen. Those kitchens are usually smaller than the ones you will find in the United States. So to economize space, we shrink them down, not like in a sci-fi way, but as if they were clothes in an oven. Whereas this absolute beast is massive. Join me now as we take a tour of the inside of my tumble dryer. It won't close. I can't close the door. It's too big. I did it. We're fine. So obviously having a house with a basement or even an add-on laundry room of any kind means that you just got all this space to be able to justify bigger units. And that is a lot of American houses. So all that being said, I'm now going to go and use my actual oven because I lost a little bit of weight last year and my clothes are too big. Thank you for watching this video and sharing it with all of your friends.
Damn, the more you know. And these actually were some differences, to be fair. Like these are things that I know about all of these apart from the second last. And what was the middle one again? This one actually as well. But yeah, a lot of the things we don't have. I mean, I didn't grow up with any of these things. And I didn't grow up with this thing that I showed at the start, but I've obviously bought one recently, but that was for a completely different reason. But this man brought an entire house just to give us content. I mean, come on, he's repaying the mortgage already just for YouTube videos. You'd love to see it. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. And if you want more, let me know in the comments. And until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.